Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Dawn.
I'm Monty.
And welcome. We're so glad you joined us. Happy summer for all of you guys with kids. I hope you guys are doing a ton of fun activities this summer. We are working and doing
nothing different
activities. We're not traveling, we're doing anything fun. So anyways, that's our summer. Talking about kids, that is what we're talking about today. We are going to talk about how we raise our kids in our intercultural household. So talking about raising kids, it is just such a vast topic, but I wanted to quickly talk about the most important things to me when raising our kids, and starting with God. I was raised in a very religious household. All you Malayali Pentecostals know what I'm talking about. Going to church 3 to 4 times a week for services that are 3 to 4 hours.
Whoa.
So that was a lot of church.
That is a lot of church.
But honestly, even though it was very religious and growing up, I didn't really care to go like that many times to church. As I grew older, there were just so many things that were silently imparted to me, like my morals, my principles, my values, and just who I became as a woman, and I realized like that is all because I was a Christian and I was raised in a Christian household, and a lot of that came from my foundation in Christ. Personally, that's what I believe. So I think it's important to raise my kids knowing God's love and to really impart that love into them. And that is honestly the most important thing to me. Alrighty, so point number 2, I think the most important thing is to raise my girls to be good, productive women in the society. And I just look back at how I was raised, and they're just like my parents. Now that I look back, that I liked everything they did when they did it, but they were just great parents, to be honest. And I know every parent, every child will tell you that. But there's the way they raised us, and I want to impart all of those into my kids. And some of those things are firstly like rewarding. I feel like in a culture like America, kids are getting things all the time. I mean, every single holiday here is associated with gift giving, and at some point you get numb. You don't really kind of respect the gifts you're given or even appreciate it for that matter. And I think rewarding should be done very sparingly. Let's say my girls get a great grade. The fact that they feel so good and they feel good about telling me that they got a great grade should be a reward in itself, and not saying that you shouldn't get them anything. Of course, like once in a while, if you truly appreciate something and they did something big, like I agree, you should reward them in things. But a lot of the times, like, it doesn't have to be a thing. I think the feeling itself should be enough. And secondly is disciplining. I think disciplining consistently is so important. You say you're going to do something or you're going to give consequences, follow through, because they will call you out and they know what to manipulate. So always follow through on your discipline and your consequences.
That's key.
Definitely.
100% key.
Definitely. And then number 3 is raising them to be like good, nurturing, empathetic, compassionate women. I think it is so important to really be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, even as an adult, and just feel what they feel and like really be empathetic towards people around you and to your circle, your partner, whoever. And that's one of the major points. And then nextly is for me to model all of this in them. I think it is important. They're watching me and I am the biggest example. And it's funny because, I see it in Ahana, like just in little things. Like if I, like as soon as I heard her, she starts crying. I'm like, oh honey, like I'm sorry. Did I hurt you? And she'll be like, yeah, mommy, you gave me a boo-boo here or whatever. And I'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry, honey. It's like, here, let me give you a hug. And I give her a hug. It's like basically I'm just acknowledging that she's hurt, and I'm sorry that I did that. And honestly, like if I'm crying or if I pretend to cry because I'm hurt, that's the first thing she does. She'll be like, I'm sorry. She's like, here, let me give you a hug. And she does that all the time. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen it. But she does that. And it's just really cute. So it's like, they're really watching you. They're really like just sponges, and they're really looking at you to model the best behavior. Before I met Monty, I loved volunteering, and after I had babies, honestly it has taken a backseat, and then COVID, of course, but I used to travel and volunteer and I loved it. And that is not something that I was raised doing, but I think just like when you raise women to be a certain kind of way, like let's say compassionate and empathetic, that is what you want to do. You want to make a difference in the world around you. And I love doing it. And honestly, I cannot wait till my little girls get big and I can volunteer with them. And for them to really just open their minds and just see everything around them, you know, not just their little worlds that they go to, like the school or their play dates or whatever, but just like really be able to see the world and like have a really larger outlook.
Yeah, that is true. Dawn was the one who introduced Mackenzie and I both to volunteer. I always knew that it was something good to do, but I just never made it a priority. But the moment that I actually done it, and then we introduced Mackenzie to it, I actually felt it was very rewarding and fulfilling, and I actually loved doing it. And so did Mackenzie. Mackenzie and I used to go every other Saturday night in the evening, anywhere between like 6, 7 o'clock, and start serving the homeless in Hollywood. And she actually loved it. It just made her feel like things are bigger than just her. It gave her more of a like real empathy kind of feeling. And I thought it was great. And because of COVID, you know, she keep asking us, when can we go back? Because I want to do that. She loved doing it.
And lastly, education. I'm an Indian and I can't go without talking about that, right? So growing up, we did a lot of that. So we did a lot of church, we did a lot of studying, as you've probably heard in a lot of my other videos. And if you're an Indian, you identify with it and you understand what I'm talking about. We studied a lot. I mean, I put a lot of time and a lot of effort. And honestly, I did take a lot of pride in doing schoolwork. I'm not gonna lie. I put an effort and I would get excited when I got a good grade. You know, even in college, I, by God's grace, was able to graduate with a really good GPA and, you know, make a lot of the scholarships list or whatever. But you don't
have to be modest. You can be honest with our YouTube viewers. You can tell them that you are a mathematician.
No, I'm not a mathematician.
You did math. Well. You had honors. You know.
I enjoy math, but I'm not a mathematician.
Oh, you didn't make honors?
I did, but
that's why I love her. She's so modest.
But talking about like imparting that to the kids, I think is really important to like push them. I feel like if you don't push them as your parent, who's going to? So your teachers, like if the teachers are trying to help you, and I feel like also the educational system here is very different from what I was raised in. And I feel like as parents at home, you need to be able to push your kids because like school teachers might not, you know? And so I try to read with Ahana, sometimes Amara is more like running around, but I try to read with Ahana every day and, you know, count with her, teach her numbers, and really just help her have an interest herself in reading. And she loves it. And she will, like, right before she goes to bed, she brings me books every night, and she loves to count. Mm-hmm. She really, like, she gets excited about new books. Like, you can get a new book and she's excited about it, you know, more than toys sometimes.
And she also does a lot of work with Mackenzie too. You can't discredit yourself from the amount of work and the hours you put in with her. I'm extremely grateful for everything that you've done to help Mackenzie out. She's just constantly just pushing her. She's just not letting Mackenzie settle. She's always just giving her work to do, even when she doesn't have homework, just to keep her memory sharp or just remembering things, especially with math and reading, her comprehension. She's always having her do things, and you know,
just to like really push yourself to get a better grade, you know, and I think it's just about achieving better. I think that's what it's more about for me with Mackenzie. It's like, don't settle for this grade, you know, try to get better because you can, you know, like I know you can, I believe in you. So
and we've seen that
you need
work
to put that
too.
Effort in.
We've seen it, like when you push her and Mackenzie actually does the work, she see her results, and we constantly have those conversations where I was like, Mackenzie, you see, you did this. We didn't do this.
Right.
That's the work that you actually put in. Right. And that's what you get. That's your reward.
Right. And we talk about that too, like just that we talked about earlier, you know, like your reward is how you feel right now. Like you feel great, right? Coming home and telling us that you got this great grade. And that is a reward in itself, you know? And so it's just working hard to feel good, but that feel good comes from your hard work to yourself.
I knew exactly when I married Dawn what I was signing myself up for. I knew 3 things that was really extremely important to her, which was religion, having a relationship with God, education, and just how she wants to raise her kids. And I completely agree with everything that she said, and I support it 100%. And also, I want my kids to identify with their Black American side of the family too. And what I mean by that is I want them to be around more of the Black side of the family, because they're around the Indian side a lot. And I want them to be able to identify with that when it comes to like gatherings, our behavior, our culture, our food, and everything. So those things are important. I want them to have a balance between both cultures as well. And Dawn and I both agree on everything, how we just want to raise all three of the girls.
Well, thank you for watching these. I hope you guys enjoyed this action item slash idea slash tips.
Action items? What does that mean?
Well, it's like email lingo, work email lingo.
Oh my God. Never heard that before. Action items.
So, for you parents out there, what is the most important thing that you want to impart to your child, and how do you do with it? I would love to know. Please leave us a comment below. Let me know. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the love that you show us. We truly, truly appreciate it. Thanks again. Mwah.